Okay, welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a place that just looks, well, incredible in photos, Pileh Lagoon.
It's one of those spots in Thailand's Phi Phi Islands that seems almost hidden, even though the islands themselves are so famous.
Exactly. And we've got a bunch of articles and guides here. So, our mission today is to kind of cut through it all, pull out the key info on what makes it special, how you actually visit, the practical stuff.
Right, give you the essentials, whether you're actually planning a trip or just curious about these amazing places. Basically, the shortcut.
Perfect. Let's dive in. So, first things first, let's get our bearings. Where exactly is Pileh Lagoon?
Okay, so it's Pileh Lagoon, sometimes spelled P-I-L-E-H or P-I-L-E-H, is on Phi Phi Island.
Phi Phi.
Yeah, which is one of the 6 islands in the Phi Phi group. That's in Krabi province out in the Andaman Sea.
Phi Phi, that rings a bell. Isn't that the island with Maya Bay, from the beach?
That's the one. Yeah, Phi Phi is definitely most famous for Maya Bay. But Pileh Lagoon is actually on the other side of the island, the northwest coast.
Ah, okay. So same island, different spot. And if you're staying on, the main Phi Phi Island, Phi Phi Don.
Exactly. If you're on Phi Phi Don, where most people stay, Phi Phi is just a pretty short boat ride south, maybe 20 minutes or so.
Got it. And this whole area, is it protected? Like a park?
It is, yeah. That's really important. The entire area, including Phi Phi and Pileh Lagoon, it's all part of the Muko Phi Phi Islands National Park.
Okay.
Which explains why it's so pristine, but also means there are rules, fees, things to know. It's known for biodiversity, super clear water, and these jungle-covered cliffs.
Right, those cliffs. The descriptions in these sources make it sound just stunning visually.
They really do. They talk about it being like a hidden oasis, an emerald or turquoise gem. But the geology is the standout feature. It's nestled in this sort of semicircle of massive limestone cliffs. They just shoot straight up from the water.
How high are we talking?
Some are over 100 meters. It creates this feeling of being in a natural amphitheater. Really dramatic.
Wow, a natural amphitheater. That sounds incredible. Anything geologically special about it? Or its depth?
Yeah, one source mentioned it's thought to have been formed by a tectonic fault, which is pretty unique. And it gets called the deepest lagoon in Thailand.
The deepest. Okay, that's quite a claim. So the water must be seriously deep then.
Seems like it. And the entrance adds to the whole drama, apparently.
How so?
You usually get in through this narrow gap between 2 huge cliffs, sort of like a hidden gateway you pass through.
Very cool, like entering a secret world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then inside, the water's meant to be crystal clear and warm. Just what you picture for Thailand.
Okay, sounds amazing. So how do you actually get to this place? Can you stay on Phi Phi?
Good question. But no, you absolutely cannot stay on Phi Phi itself. It's strictly national park, no hotels, no bungalows, nothing.
Right, so it has to be a boat trip then.
The only way. Boat trip is essential.
Okay, so what are the main options for boat trips? If you're already nearby, say on Phi Phi Don.
Right, if you're on Phi Phi Don, the standard way is to hire a long-tail boat from Tonsai Pier. It's only about a 20-minute trip, like we said. You can usually just walk down to the pier, negotiate a price, or book a specific private tour.
Simple enough. And what if you're coming from further away, like Phuket or Krabi?
Then you're probably looking at speedboat tours, especially from Phuket, because it's quite a bit further. These tours are known for starting really early.
How early?
Like 6 a.m., 7 a.m. early. The whole point is to beat the crowds, get to Maya Bay first, get to Pileh Lagoon before it gets too busy.
Makes sense. And these speedboat tours, do they just go to Pileh Lagoon? Or is it a bigger package?
Oh, it's almost always a full day thing. They pack a lot in, usually includes hotel pickup back in Phuket or Krabi, maybe lunch, snorkeling gear.
And visits to other spots too.
Definitely. You'll almost certainly hit Maya Bay, Pileh Lagoon, probably Viking Cave, Monkey Beach, sometimes Bamboo Island or Kainak Island get thrown into. It's a highlights reel of the Phi Phi area.
Okay. Is there any other way from Phuket if maybe you don't want the speedboat tour?
There is, but it's a bit more work. You could take the main ferry from Rasada Pier in Phuket over to Phi Phi Don first. Then, once you're on Phi Phi Don, arrange your own long-tail boat trip locally from there.
Gotcha. A 2-step process. All right, so you're on the boat, heading into this amazing lagoon. What about those national park fees you mentioned?
Right, super important. You have to pay a national park entrance fee for Muko Phi Phi. No way around it.
And how much are we talking?
Currently, the sources say it's 400 Thai baht per person for foreign adults. It's less for kids, 200 baht if they're under 120 centimeters. Thai nationals pay much less. And they make it clear this is a conservation fee.
Okay, 400 baht. How do you usually pay that? On a tour, for example.
Typically, yeah, the tour operator collects it from everyone, usually in cash, often right at the start of the day before you even reach the park waters. Good idea to ask for a receipt just in case.
And apparently these fees are actually making a difference now.
That's what's really interesting in the recent reports. They mention a new e-ticketing system, and apparently it means a lot more money, like around 1 million baht a day is actually going directly into conservation now.
Wow, 1 million baht a day. That's significant.
It really is. And you can see the results. That funding is likely behind some of the stricter rules, like the big one at Maya Bay.
You mean the swimming ban?
Exactly. You can still go to the beach, take photos, but no swimming allowed there anymore. It's all about letting the reefs and the environment recover. So the fee feels directly linked to protecting the place.
That makes paying it feel worthwhile.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've paid the fee, you're inside the lagoon. What's it like in the water?
The main event. Well, the water is described as really deep, that classic greeny emerald color. Perfect for just jumping off the boat and having a good swim.
Sounds amazing. What about snorkeling? I noticed the sources seemed a little mixed on that.
Yeah, that's a good catch. There's a bit of variation.
Yeah.
One source really emphasizes how deep the lagoon is, especially at high tide. And it suggests, maybe don't expect shallow coral right there in the main lagoon area. It implies you might want to save your mask and snorkel for other stops on the tour where reefs are shallower. Just enjoy the deep swim in Pileh.
But another source did mention snorkeling.
It did, yeah. Another description talked about beautiful snorkeling possibilities in the lagoon, seeing vibrant corals and colorful fish, sometimes even reef sharks. And it pointed out the water inside is usually very calm because it's sheltered, which is obviously great for swimming and snorkeling.
So maybe it depends on exactly where your boat stops, or the tide, or just luck of the day.
Could be, or just different people's experiences. But the definite takeaway is that the swimming is fantastic, deep, calm, refreshing water.
Right. And how long do tours usually stop there?
Typically around 30 to 45 minutes seems standard. Enough time for a good swim, maybe that snorkel, and definitely lots of photos of those incredible cliffs surrounding you.
Okay. And since it's usually part of a tour, what are those other famous spots nearby you're likely to see?
Well, top of the list is Maya Bay, obviously. Still visually stunning. Even with the no swimming rule, you still get to see that beach.
Right. And Viking Cave. What's the deal there?
Yeah, Viking Cave is another common site. It's an old limestone cave, has some ancient paintings inside. But you view it from the boat. Tourists can't go in anymore.
Why not?
It's partly conservation. Thousands of swallows nest in there. And also, locals harvest the nests for bird's nest soup, which is a big industry. So access is restricted now.
Interesting mix of reasons. And Monkey Beach. That sounds potentially chaotic.
It can be. It's on Phi Phi Dawn, known for, well, monkeys. The sources give a pretty strong warning, though.
Oh.
They stress these are wild animals. They're known to snatch bags, food, sunglasses, anything they can grab. And apparently they can bite if people get too close or try to feed them. So the advice is, look, don't touch, keep your distance, secure your stuff, and definitely don't offer them food.
Good warnings. Okay, let's pull together some key practical tips specifically for visiting Pileh Lagoon. What stands out?
Number one tip, echoed everywhere. Start early. Go as early as you possibly can.
To avoid the crowds, right, and get better conditions.
Exactly. Early morning means calmer water, fewer boats, better light for photos before the midday sun hits, and all the main tours arrive. Those early bird tours really seem worth it for Pileh Lagoon.
Makes sense. What about the time of year? Best season?
Best time generally for the Phi Phi Islands is the dry season, which is roughly November to March. That's peak season, yes, but you get the best weather, calmest seas.
And avoid the monsoon.
Definitely try to avoid the main monsoon season, maybe June to October. The sea can get really rough, boat trips get canceled, and getting into the lagoon might not even be possible some days.
Okay, essential packing list. What should you bring?
For sure, reef-safe sunscreen. That's crucial for the environment there. A waterproof bag or a dry bag, really vital for phones, cameras, wallets on a boat trip.
Good call. What else?
Sunglasses, obviously. A quick dry towel is handy, plenty of drinking water, and definitely a camera. If you have a waterproof one or a GoPro, even better for those in-water shots.
Safety-wise, with that deep water, life jackets.
Highly recommended, yeah. Most tours provide them, but wearing one while swimming in deep open water is just smart.
And snorkel gear. Bring your own or rely on the tour.
Tours usually provide it, but the quality can vary. If you have your own mask and snorkel that fits well, it's often better to bring it along.
And overall, it sounds like packaging Pileh Lagoon into a full-day tour is the most efficient way.
It does seem that way from the sources, yeah. Whether it's a speedboat or a longtail, a full-day Phi Phi tour lets you see Pileh Lagoon plus all those other key spots efficiently. Maximize your time.
And the final, always important tip.
Respect the place. Follow the park rules, leave absolutely nothing behind, pack out all your trash, keep noise levels down, just help keep it beautiful.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned no accommodation on Phi Phi, so where do people stay if they want to visit easily?
Right, all accommodations on the main island, Phi Phi. The sources gave a few examples across different price points.
Like,
For luxury, they mentioned Zavla Resort. Sounds fancy, 5-star, jungle setting right on the beach, has its own dive center.
nice. Something mid-range.
Phi the Beach Resort was listed. It has bungalow huts, lots with sea views apparently, noted for a nice beach right there, good snorkeling nearby, and they offer free boat transfers from the main pier.
Convenient. And for budget travelers.
There was, at the Pier 519 mentioned, that's a hostel, noted for being friendly, comfy beds, and super convenient location right in Tonsai town near the pier and the beach.
Good to know there are options nearby on Phi Phi Dawn. So let's recap. Why do these sources consistently highlight Pileh Lagoon as a must-see?
It boils down to a few things, really. First, that spectacular, unique scenery. Those cliffs, the emerald water, it's visually stunning.
And the actual experience in the lagoon.
It's described as really relaxing and refreshing, just swimming in that calm, deep water. Plus, there's the potential for wildlife viewing, maybe some fish or even those reef sharks mentioned.
It also seems like it offers a slightly different atmosphere than Maya Bay.
Yeah, especially if you manage to get there early, it can feel a bit more secluded, maybe less intensely touristy than Maya Bay can sometimes feel.
And there was that local belief mentioned too.
Right. That little detail about locals believing the water is somehow rejuvenating because it's so deep and mineral rich adds a nice touch of local lore.
It really does, kind of adds to the magic.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this has definitely painted a vivid picture of Pileh Lagoon. A truly remarkable natural wonder, unique geology, and just a beautiful escape within the Phi Phi Islands.
Hopefully, whether you're actually planning a trip or just listening along, this deep dive has given you a clear sense of the place and why it captures people's imagination.
And it leaves us with something to think about, doesn't it? Pileh Lagoon is part of this national park system that's clearly wrestling with popularity versus preservation. You see the trade-offs closing Maya Bay to swimmers, but using those tourist fees for conservation, it makes you wonder, what does the story of Pileh Lagoon and the Phi Phi Islands tell us about how we navigate experiencing these incredibly beautiful places while also protecting them for the long haul? It's a tricky balance.
It really is. Something definitely worth considering.
Video.